side indicator turn signals on the mirrors for the Nissan Altima. Pretty cool, but I was thinking that this looked a little bit dim, especially in the daytime. And I was wondering if I could find something better. So what I have are some of these right here. I got these off Amazon. I've also seen them sold on eBay. But these are LEDs, and they're sequential. So I thought I'd give these a try and see if they work any better. Let's see what happens. Now, I've seen a few videos out there on swapping out or exchanging this little strip here on Nissans. I don't know if it's for Altimas or not, or if maybe it's all the same. But the idea here is we need to remove this outer cover, which is a pretty thin little thing. And a lot of them start right here by kind of taking and sort of popping this out. So I'm going to very carefully try it right here and see if I can pop this out and sort of move this along here. So, kind of getting in here, can I get this out? I've got a little thin screwdriver, maybe from underneath right here. I'm just going to see if I can get some little wedge in there and pop this out. They really are it just kind of held in by little clips and like little pieces that go inside here. So I'm just going to get in and see if I can do this here. It is on pretty tightly. I'll play around with that a bit. Now, the videos I've seen on YouTube make it seem really easy. You just kind of pop this out. You can see I damaged the paint a little bit using a screwdriver right there, that little black bit. I found this really tight, and so as I was trying to pop and pry this out here, this top part here popped out, which is all good because they all need to go. But man, it's really tight in there, and you need a very, very thin implement, and a thin flat blade screwdriver almost was too thick. And so I'm going to try this other little guy here and just kind of see if I can gradually pull this out. But it was really tricky getting this first bit out here. Just, it's really, really tight. I even slid a razor blade under there to kind of try and pull it out a little bit. But I'm starting with this and see if I can gradually pop it out a bit more. Yeah, obviously I don't want to bust it. I'm now actually pulling it across from the top here. It'll kind of pop out. There are some clips right about there. There's one right about there that holds it in, and one right about there. And so I'm kind of gently pulling off from the top here. And once you clear this little flange out from under the black part, it comes out a bit more. It's still kind of stuck right there though. So, trying to see what else is going on in there. But yeah, getting this out is kind of tricky, I'm finding. Okay, there it is. I finally got it out. Worked my way around here, and the last little bit was it was stuck right in there. I was able to pop that out. So you can see all the tabs that hold it in. It's a big long one there. That's wild. Anyway, luckily, nothing's broken. And I did see one video that mentioned about a screw holding it in, that you have to remove the mirror and take the screw out. But I'm glad that's not correct. So here it is, right in here. And here's the LED element. Oh, coming apart. Yuck. Interesting. Okay, so this is a bit of an annoyance. I've actually pulled the mirror up a little bit. Just kind of pop it off. It clips on the top here. I'm kind of pulling it up from the bottom. And there is a screw right in there. That's a screw. And I think that is what's holding in the actual LED strip right there. That screw. And it's not a Phillips or anything, but it's one of these T-bits right here. So I've pulled this out enough, and I'm going to try and see if I can stick in my screwdriver and undo that screw right there, which I think probably isn't even necessary. Yep, that was it. There's the screw right there that I had to pull out. And so with that out, boy, it's pretty long. Now you can see that this piece easily just kind of slides out here, like this. But yeah, that screw was right in there, and I could tell as I was pulling against it, it was really held in firmly right in the middle. And that's because of that screw. But I think there's enough here to hold it. You really don't need that. So anyway, now I've got that out. And the last thing really is just the electrical connection right there. And that piece really didn't want to come out either. It doesn't have a locking tab or something you have to depress to get out. It was just really, really stuck in there. So I had to grab a little pair of needle nose pliers here and just kind of grab onto it and really sort of yank it out. But there you go, now it's out. And it's all dirty and dusty inside. But the test here is to just hook up this replacement LED one and see how it works. And there it is. Pretty cool. Although, you know, it looks like it's not going all the way here. Kind of an interesting issue. Oh, that's a bit better. What I did was I turned on the hazard lights, and I guess now you can see that it's going all the way there. And I think what's happening is that sometimes I have an LED blinker here, and so sometimes that blinks too fast. So basically, if your blinker is too fast, it's not going to have enough time to light up and get all the way there. But if it goes slowly enough, then it can light up and go all the way there. So I think that's the issue there. And then I have to look into some little extra resistors or things to go onto the blinkers to make sure that they don't show an error. Sometimes LEDs will do a hyperblink because the car thinks there's such little resistance going through them that there's an error, like they're out. But yeah, that's what it should look like. And that's pretty cool, and actually much brighter than the LEDs that were in there before. I think some of that could be because this plastic, the clear plastic, is kind of yellowed and dimmed, kind of like headlight lenses. But that is pretty visible, even in the daytime. And while we're at it, you should know that these the left and right ones are not interchangeable. So a couple of things. There's the plug here, while it has the same two prongs, has a little bit different opening. You can see right there between the left and the right, just slightly different. So okay, that's cool. And this is the one for the right or passenger side. However, on this particular one that I got, there's a problem in that, look at the design of the edge here. It's supposed to actually taper up to the top, and this one actually tapers the other way. See that? So this one won't actually fit in, even though it plugs in to the connection there. So what we have here is the left one has the right plug-in connection, and the right one has the left plug-in connection. And there's no kind of swapping this around. So I'm going to see if I can carve away a little bit of the plastic and get this left or driver's side one to fit in here, since it tapers the right way. So a screw up on this manufacturer's part. Anyway, be forewarned about that. I don't know if yours will have it, but mine did. And here's the aftermarket LED trying to fit in here. So forgetting for the moment that the electrical connection doesn't match, that it's actually for the left side. This is the one for the right one, and it's kind of tough to get in here. So I don't think it quite fits in as well as it should. You got to start here and kind of pop it in here. There's like a little part that kind of, you hook it in, curve it in there, and then it's supposed to kind of just snap in here. And you got to get these parts here, you know, behind, like around that. But it's just really tough to get in and out. And so I'm gonna try and pop this out here. Oh, there it is. See, that's how that kind of goes in. So it's really tough. You got to really kind of force it and put it in. Now, by comparison, here's the OEM one, which of course has the right kind of connection. I'm going to hook it in right here, and it just slides in. Nice and easy, right? Like it's not like it's made for it, because of course it is. No having to press it in, to force it, to really give it a lot of pressure. It just slips in very easily. So what the problem is with this, I just don't really know. I mean, if you look at them, they look like they're about the same, but there's enough difference to where this aftermarket one, cool as it is in functionality, just doesn't fit in very well. And I want to show right here the connections. They're a little bit different. Let's see, can we see those there? And this plug here on this right side is actually, my suspicion, how the left one looks. So that's kind of the big problem here, is that not only is this sort of outer shape a bit different, but the electrical connections, these two prongs, are a little higher here, and here they're a little lower. So you can make it work and get it to fit in, but it just doesn't fit in very well, and it's not designed for it. So what this is really supposed to fit in well without having to modify it, you got me. Now if you are able to get these in, and I did show about how the plugs don't work on this turn signal here. The left plug goes in the right one, the right one goes in the left one. But so even getting beyond that, I've kind of put this new one in here into the light and tried to put the cover back on. Now it might look okay, but the cover really isn't on very well. I'm not sure you can see this, but I can't quite get this to kind of pop in where it needs to right here. This new replacement light, even though it looks cool when it's activated, doesn't quite fit in like the OEM one. The OEM one just slips on in nice and easy. This one you really have to force it in, and it kind of sticks out here. It's not quite flush. So what that means is that if you get the cover on here, it's not quite in there. I guess it's in there enough maybe, but these edges here aren't really popped in as well as they need to be. So if you want to go about this, not only do you have to kind of carve out those electrical connections to try and get them to match where they're supposed to, and that'll take a little bit of work, and also kind of bend the prongs, but then you've got the idea that this doesn't really fit in, even though this is the one for the right mirror, and you can tell by the angle here. Even then it doesn't quite fit in well. So I don't know what the problem is. Does it not really work in the sedan? Well, that's obviously true. Is it more made for the coupe? Is it made for a Maxima of the same year or something else? But even though they'll tell you, yes, this will fit in the 2007, 8, 9 on up to 12 Altima, even sedan. I've tried several of these so far from Amazon and eBay. They're all the same. No matter what they tell you, I think from what I'm seeing, these are all the same, and they're just not going to fit, at least not the way that I think they should. Well, this video on replacing the LED marker lights might turn into a video on replacing the entire mirror instead. So, in trying to pop off the mirror, and this is what it looks like, because mine is heated here, so there are little connections there, otherwise it could come completely off. This is what you see underneath. So this is the actuator that allows you to move the mirror and adjust it so that you get a good view as you're driving, up, down, left, and right. Well, it appears that in just trying to pull this mirror off, I have damaged mine so that it'll go up and down, but it won't go left and right. And I thought maybe there was some little simple thing, like I hadn't been able to put it back on right or something, and maybe a Nissan tech could fix it. So I had some maintenance done in my car recently, just an oil change and a little overall inspection. But they basically said that the actuators in here are really sensitive and kind of fragile, and if the teeth kind of get moved out of the way or misaligned or something, there's just no fixing it. And the only job is to just replace the whole thing. So that's what we're looking at here, I guess. But this is what it looks like underneath your mirror. and I guess I pulled mine off the wrong way, or wasn't quite careful. But yeah, that's what we have here. It's this sort of circular connection, but that's the actuator there. And let me show you what's happening. So if I try and move the mirror here to adjust it, it can go up, and it can go down, but really to be able to see the oncoming or traffic on my lane over here, I need to be able to move it left or right. And that's something where it's not really doing much there. And that little click means there's a problem with the actuator, with the little gears that kind of move it in the direction there. So the only solution might just be to have to replace the entire mirror. So if the only way to get those LED strips out in order to replace them or upgrade them is to take off the mirror to remove that screw hidden behind it, my question here is it really a good idea? Is it worth it? So now I'm into this more money than I had thought, and before this I had a perfectly good functioning mirror and LED side marker light. So now it's time for a bit more repair. But if you are feeling brave and you want to pop off this mirror and try not to damage this mechanism in here, I'm trying to give you some idea of what this looks like. So it's round. You can see right there, it's round. This is the whole sort of platform or base that it sits on that theoretically goes up and down, left and right. Kind of pivots in there. And mine won't really budge much at all, left and right, which is where I need it to go. But also notice the clips on the mirror here. So here's the top, and there's these little clips. There's like one here and here, and there are two at the bottom. I guess like two sets. And the YouTube video that I watched that encouraged me to do this didn't really show the details of this. This is kind of what it was like here. The idea was that the guy said it kind of went on top, and then so I can kind of feel it there on the top, and then you pull up, pry it up from the bottom to take it off there, and then hook it back on the top. So I've got it hooked on the top. I'm going to see if I can press it back in on the bottom here. So I guess maybe that's it. So the Nissan tech basically said that it's not a great thing to try here, to really do much with this. So at this point I'm kind of inclined to agree if they're that easily damaged. But that's where we are. So I don't know much about trying to replace the mechanism inside there for just the actuator. So the next step would be replacing this entire mirror. Now this is the actuator that moves the window around with your controls so you can adjust it to position. This is a thing that I messed up in trying to pop out the mirror. It's held in place by 3 torque screws, little holes from there, and right there. So if you undo that, unscrew those, this is kind of what you get. This is it here. It's not really replaceable. It's permanently wired in. You can see the wires there. We have, in this case, we've got there's the wire for the signal light, and then we've also got over here wires for the mirror defroster. But yeah, if you mess this up, which I did, just trying to pop the mirror out, I don't think there's any replacing this. You just got to do the whole mirror. So another risky move here. So I've got a replacement here that should work. Made sure I got the same type of stuff here with the turn signal there, and also a heated mirror. So just need to replace this. I even saved a bit of money by getting one that was a different color, because of course you can just pop off the cover here, so you don't need to get the one with the right cover. A little easier that way, but saved a good bit of money just by getting, any color that I could here. But I'll have to replace this one. So it should be easy, but this is the plastic piece that has to come off. Now you can of course remove the door panel. I did see one video that said all you have to do is to remove the screw out of here and kind of pull this inner door panel here, and that will get you enough to where you can pull this piece off and get to the bolts that hold the mirror on. So that sounds like a better idea than removing the whole thing. So let's give that a try and see if it works. Okay, and there it is. Little screw out. I've pulled the door out here. I've pulled it out, and so look, it looks like you should be able to just pop off this black panel right here. Okay, and there we go. Cool. So 3 little 10mm bolts, one unplug later, and the mirror is off. So pretty easy replacement. But of course, I need to pop this cover off too, from this one and from the replacement one here that should work. I do want to test the new one I got though. Let's see, make sure it does what it needs to. Okay, so just as a precaution before proceeding, I checked it. The light works here, and the actuator works, so I can put the mirror where I want. I don't know about the defrost, can't really check that now. So I just want to make sure before I, go full into doing everything here. I'm thinking, gosh, the black mirror on the white doesn't look half bad actually. But of course I do want things white, it's got to match the other one. But just in case you're wondering, and you got a white car and all you can find are black mirrors, not too bad of an idea. And there it is, all popped back on. So, whole new mirror assembly. And then here's my original cover just popped on to replace the black one. Actually, popping it on is really quick and easy. I just kind of inserted it along the top. There's some prongs going in the bottom, make sure to go in the holes, and you just kind of push it in, it clicks, and there it is. So, a lot easier than taking it off. But, easy repair there, and the nice thing is, you don't have to find a mirror that's your exact color. You can just reuse this outer covering right here. To put this panel back in place, I actually put my window down. That way it's kind of easier to sort of move in here and kind of grab things. There's like a little plastic piece there. You need to make sure it's in the shelf. There's a little shelf right there. I just kind of pulled it up and over there. And it looks like that's in. And then just make sure it's all snapped on nice and tight here. So any fasteners here go back into the door. And that should do it. Just need to replace the little screw in the panel here. And it's good as new on the inside as well. So there you go. After going through 3 sets of these and breaking and replacing one of my mirrors here, I'm at the conclusion that these nifty sequential LED upgrade replacement lights just won't work, at least not on this model of Altima sedan. And back to the way it was, which I guess is pretty good in the first place. So take my advice, but if any of you out there find one of these replacements that actually does fit the Altima, has the right electrical connections left and right, and will fit in just like the OEM one, so you can have the cover go on as it should, let me know, because I'd be happy to try that out. Till then, I'm just sticking with the stock lights.